Skjei almost gives it away to the front of the net. Backhand chance. Orlov's there. Rebound opportunity. Raanta's there. 1-2, and he makes the save.
Huge saves for Antti Raanta. New Jersey just about makes it a one-goal game. They're going to go to the power play. They drew a penalty out of it. Well, those are big stops from Antti Raanta.
Welcome to the Canes Corner podcast. I am Adam Gold, and the Hurricanes did it again. They win it 3-2, 27 hours, 4 points. Moms are the first star, and they are now just 2 points behind the New York Rangers for the Metropolitan Division lead. Just 2 points behind the Rangers. I don't think you have to go back that far to see the gap. Might have been 9 points, and New York had games in hand. It's not like Carolina's been absolutely blistering. They've just kind of been steady, playing about 750 ball over the last 6 weeks or so. I have to go back and look at it, see exactly what the record is. But they have obviously been very good. They were great last night. They were good enough tonight. We are brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it is for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. No place like it. Sammy Hanna and his crew do a great job, and you should check them out for all of your exterior home improvement needs. If you take these two games, and this is the Canes Corner podcast live on YouTube, rate us, review us, like us, subscribe to us, do whatever you have to do, caress, smash. That's a little aggressive for me. And if you're just listening to this in a normal podcast form, by all means, subscribe to it, like it, give us a rating and a review. It certainly helps us out. I don't have any great analogies like I did last night, but I thought it was an appropriate analogy. Spencer Martin as George. Basically, the analogy was George Costanza eating the chocolate eclair out of the trash. I talked to Spencer tonight. He's excited about being here. I also think he has a healthy, understanding of what his role is and that this might be short-lived. But why not ride it out? Hurricanes, by the way, right now do have a roster spot available if they want to keep 3 goaltenders. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. I want to start with this. 2 games, 27 hours, Boston here against the Devils, and you get 4 points. Talked to Rod Brindamore before the game. Last night's game was, I just think, a spectacular hockey game. I thought Boston played well. Carolina played a little bit better and won a game. Carolina didn't get as much out of the game offensively as they probably should have. And Boston, who was pretty much stifled for 2 periods, certainly in the second period. Boston, because Brad Marchand is heading to the Hall of Fame, got 2 goals in the first 7 minutes of the third, and all of a sudden you thought they were coming. Again, we don't have to relive the game. You can listen to last night's Canes Corner podcast for it. But the Hurricanes hung in there and made some great plays down the stretch and won the game. And then you come here with the Devils sitting here waiting, and yes, they don't have Jack Hughes, one of the best players in the sport. They don't have Dougie Hamilton, one of the best dynamic offensive defensemen in the game. They don't have Jonas Siegenthaler. That's basically their top defensive pair. Do they still have talent? Oh, yeah. This team's loaded. Look at that. Seriously, I'm showing the, for those people just listening, I'm showing the line chart with all of their absences. Top line, Hischier, Meyer, Bratt, 3 of their top scorers. Second line, Mercer, Toffoli, Palat. Eric Hall is on the third line. They're good. Curtis Lazar's had a big year. And defensively, they still have Luke Hughes, and John Marino's a solid defenseman. That's really where I think you notice the difference with New Jersey. They're not great in front of their own net, and they're also not great in net. And that's really what did in the Devils tonight, when they go back and they look at this game. First goal, not on Nico Dawes. Second goal, absolutely on Nico Dawes. Third goal, it's a deflection. It doesn't look like it changed direction that much. I got to look at it closely. I have to look at it a little bit more closely, but didn't look like it changed direction that much. But the second goal, that can't go. Could you imagine if Raanta or Kochetkov or Anderson or any of our goalies, we have 5 or have used 5. Could you imagine if one of the Hurricanes goalies allowed that? We'd have kittens. That's a terrible goal for Nico Dawes to allow. Nico? Yes, Nico Dawes. So, but the Devils have major goaltending problems. So when we talk about Carolina in the market for a goalie at some point, maybe. Who knows? We don't know what type of goalie that would be. We've already had that conversation. Of course, Spencer Martin is making a bid to say, no, you don't need a goalie. The Devils definitely need a goalie. Definitely need a goalie. I remember Akira Schmid last year looking like he might be okay. I don't think it's really worked out that way for New Jersey this year. They are definitely going to be in the John Gibson sweepstakes. I think New Jersey wants to know if they're in it right now. And right now, they're going to be in it. I still think the Devils are going to make the playoffs. And I think they're ultimately going to make the playoffs comfortably. I think they'll catch Philadelphia and end up finishing 3rd in the Metropolitan Division. I don't anticipate Philadelphia staying in this the entire way. I'm not saying Philly can't be a playoff team. I think it's going to be a wild card if they get in. But Tampa's kind of playing a little bit better right now. Will Detroit hold on? Actually, briefly chatted with Steve Yzerman when the Red Wings were here a couple of weeks ago, and I just complimented him on building a really good team with a mix of veterans and young players. And he goes, I don't think we're quite there yet. So he knows they've got some work to do, but he thanked me for the compliment. But look, it's there's going to be a lot of competition for those last couple of spots. I think the Devils will ultimately finish 3rd, but they have some ground to make up. Flyers are on 56 points, 5 ahead of New Jersey, but New Jersey has 3 games in hand on Philadelphia. I mentioned this during the aftermath. How is it possible the Devils have not won more than 3 games in a row this year? I know Carolina was in the same position for a while. It's just kind of remarkable. The Devils have not won more than 3 games in a row at any point this season. All right, let's get to a couple of things here. Let's start in net. Why not? It's been the theme of the last 27 hours. So Antti Raanta was, I thought, excellent tonight. I think he was a very deserving game's first star, and it struck me with his mom sitting there. I don't know what kind of English Ranta's mom speaks. She lives in Finland. Probably not a great deal of English. But there was nobody left in the building. We're basically empty. And I think everybody could hear the ovation for Raanta. And this is why I think this is one of the, it's not even a trick. It's one of the qualities of the head coach that there's so much caring about the people. You could tell how much everybody loves that guy. Not Raanta. So watching him play well lifts everybody up. And I think that translates over to the fans. Fans love him. So I thought he was exceptionally good tonight. And I thought a deserving first star. Carolina was not great in the 3rd. Heck, they weren't really great for long stretches in this game. I thought the first 7 minutes were Carolina of the game 90 seconds in, they take a 1-0 lead. Aho with the goal. Good defensive pressure. That's probably an unforced turnover, but I think there has been pressure, and I think New Jersey just got sped up a little bit. Slavin to Teravainen into Aho. Boom. Forehand, backhand, great goal. Then I thought Carolina was awesome for the first 12 minutes of the second period. You get a power play goal from Teravainen, second straight game with a goal. Jordan Staal with the deflection goal. And that was it. And I think Carolina just, not that they took their foot off the gas, but I do think that they just weren't great. I thought they spent so much emotional energy yesterday. And maybe it's because Boston came back and made the third period a sweatbox. But I thought that I thought they were kind of running on fumes for stretches of this game. And credit to the Devils for not giving up. Not that you would expect them to, but down 3-0 on the road against a team like Carolina, I could see being discouraged by it. But 5.5 minutes into the third, they get the goal from, who was it? Dowling? Trying to think who scored the goal. It wasn't even Justin Dowling. Yeah, he played. I'm trying to think. Oh, Max Willman did not play tonight. Justin Dowling drew in. So he gets the goal. Basically a career minor leaguer, journeyman. He's played, a bunch of games in the NHL, but he's really not an NHL level goalie, rather player. He scores the goal. And I think that came right after Carolina just wasted a power play. Just absolutely just wasted it. And at this point, it's kind of a game. There's still plenty of time left. And the sequence after the goal, that was not on Raanta, by the way. Antti made a bunch of good saves in a 3-1 game. And then New Jersey went to the power play. And then Carolina kind of leveled off because Carolina's penalty kill is on another planet. And at times, Jacob Slavin is a one-man penalty kill, which is why I gave him one of my 3 stars today. Slavin is just, I think the best part is to watch him in person. He's just that good. Just that good. Carolina, 3 for 3? 3 for 3 on the penalty kill tonight. 4 for 4 in Boston. Keep in mind, Boston has one of the best power plays in the sport, and the Devils have one of the best power plays in the sport. And it was a combined 7 for 7 on the kill for Carolina. So the goalie was great. Jacob Slavin was great. He had to be. There were some curious decisions with the puck. Michael Bunting's puck management left a little bit to be desired in this game. The Brent Burns decision on Carolina's power play to just give the puck away in the middle of the ice, a blind pass to nowhere. Ugh. Other than that, I thought Brent played a really good game, and I thought he was dynamite yesterday. But, there were still some interesting moments. And again, I think I said it either during the game in one of the intermissions or in the aftermath. I think the team's running on fumes right now. They need a break. Even though we've had some breaks here, I just think they need a break. And they're going to get one after Saturday's game against the Arizona Coyotes. And this is not a team to take lightly. They can score. They're in the mix for a playoff spot. They're trying to win, even though they're obviously a team in transition. They are trying to win. And they have, I think, a pretty good team and some dynamic talent. Arizona right now is 5th in the Central Division. They lost tonight. Nashville came back and won, so they're 4 points behind Nashville. Nashville is manning a playoff spot Arizona right now is 4 points out of a playoff spot. So that'll be the last game of the month of January. We will not see these guys until, today's Thursday, right? 2 weeks from, I think, Tuesday, from this past Tuesday. So Carolina will get from Saturday till the following Tuesday. Pretty sure that's the gap. So that's about a 10-day break. And boy, they need it. They need it. They'll get Andrei Svechnikov back. Should have Pyotr Kochetkov back after that as well. So yesterday was not a great game for Sebastian Aho. It wasn't a bad game, but when you're going up against Marchand, Pasternak, and Charlie Coyle, which is who the Aho line was matched up with a fair share last night, it's going to put you into a little bit of a, playing too much defense mode. And I thought their line was, again, they weren't bad, but they weren't great last night. I thought Teravainen was great, but I thought Seabass had a little bit of a struggle bus, although he had 2 assists, right? He had 2 assists in the game last night, so he's been able to get points. But I thought Seabass was absolutely on top of it tonight, as was Teravainen. And I thought, for the most part, one of the better games we have seen from Michael Bunting. I think he was really a valuable part of the forecheck tonight. That line created plenty of opportunities. You get the goal from Aho, transition play, but the goal from Aho 90 seconds in. You get the goal from Teravainen, and it was those 3 players. It was Aho winning the draw, Bunting getting it over to Teravainen for the one-timer. Not a good goal, should not have gone in. Nico Dawes wants it back, but that's how Carolina works their set pieces, whether it's power play or not. Off an offensive zone faceoff, just dynamite work from Aho, Bunting, and then Teravainen for the finish. Here's Aho in the last 20 games, going all the way back to the game in Ottawa. Remember the Western Canada road trip that actually ended in Ottawa and then Detroit. 9 goals, 24 assists, 33 points in the last 20 games. That's a long stretch. He's got 7 points in his last 4 games, couple of goals, 5 assists. Seth Jarvis in the same 20-game span, 6 goals, 11 assists, 17 points. And I'm telling you, that kid is a really good penalty killer. Like, legitimately good. And I saw a couple of blocked shots from Seth Jarvis today. And I thought, man, he's like Brock McGinn with offense. Now we'll see how tough he is if he takes a puck off the hand. Brock's was one of the toughest guys that has ever worn a Hurricanes uniform. But Jarvis is a legit penalty killer. It's just not even a joke. Teuvo Teravainen now has goals in 2 straight. Power play was 1 for 4 tonight. First 3 seconds of their power play were elite. I didn't love the power play after that. Just didn't. Wasn't great. 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. So there's a lot of things that Carolina is doing exceptionally well right now, and nothing is better than Carolina's penalty kill. Remember at the beginning of the year how bad they were. There was, I think, through the first 8 games, Carolina's penalty kill was at like 68%. And there was a stretch in there where they were giving up more power play goals than they were killing off power plays. So they were like under 500 for a stretch. Well, they're at about I think they're right at 84%. Might be a shade over it. They entered play tonight a shade under 84%. So it's not at the top of the league. It's best in the league since basically December 1st, just like the power play is best in the league since December 1st. But right now, special teams, if you combine the power play percentage and the penalty kill percentage, Carolina is well north of 110. It was 27.7 coming in, so that dropped slightly, going 1 for 4. They were 83.8. They go 3 for 3. That goes up slightly. So let's just say 27.5 and 84. So we're over 110 when you combine the two figures. Anything north of 100 is good. But when you're talking about being over 110, and my feeling has always been that you want to, it's okay to not score power play goals as long as you don't give them up. My feeling has always been as long as you don't lose special teams, you'll be okay. I don't think ultimately Carolina is going to be a team that has to get power play goals to win. I think the power play goals, if you get them, you will win. If Carolina carries this power play into the playoffs, they're going far. All you really need, though, is enough. But the penalty kill, that's got to be there. You can't lose special teams in the playoffs. All right. Just a couple of quick thoughts about what I think we're going to see on Saturday. Keep in mind, as well as Antti Raanta played tonight, it looked like in the second period, he kind of tweaked his lower body. Looked like he got, maybe it was an ankle, a knee, a muscle, who knows. But it looked like he was it didn't look like, he was definitely flexing his left leg a lot. So the way I look at it, they need Raanta. They need him healthy. There is no crime in letting Spencer Martin have the Arizona Coyotes game on Saturday. No crime at all. Again, might be his last for Carolina. They can certainly carry a third goalie because when completely operational, the healthy extras are going to be D'Angelo and Lemieux. You can carry 3 healthy extras. And that can certainly be Spencer Martin. Because it's obvious that the guy is a capable NHL goalie. I'm not saying that he's the answer. I mean, stranger things have happened. He could get on a run and be lights out for a month, and who knows? But ultimately, when we talk about Carolina being in the market for a goaltender, I'm fairly certain that I can say this and not be wrong, that Spencer Martin doesn't eliminate Carolina's need for goaltending depth at the very least. And what we just don't know is what kind of goalie they need. Again, don't want to have the same conversation we've had 1,000 times. All right. Saw Freddie Anderson here on the 5th floor press box. No, I didn't ask him when he was coming back. I didn't ask him about his 3rd or 4th opinion or whatever he's looking for. I respect the man's privacy about his health. But what we do know is about a month and a half ago, he was medically cleared, but he is seeking additional opinions / information. It's not an injury. It's a medical condition. I think operating with a great deal of caution is acceptable. And right now, as good as he can be, I think Carolina is getting on okay. That doesn't mean they don't need him or another goalie. I think they definitely need another goalie. I just don't know what type of goaltender. Is it a backup? Is it somebody to simply give you another body for insurance? Or is it somebody that we need somebody to carry us through this? So Is it a Marc-Andre Fleury? Is it a Jake Allen? Or is it somebody with more bona fides? And see what happens. Nashville, with a big win tonight, is in a playoff spot in the West. And as long as Nashville stays there, UC Saros will not be available. All right. So to my friends in Adelaide, and by the way, good luck to Yannick Sinner and what? Andrei Zverev? Not, is it Andre? Alexei Zverev? I forget who it is. I picked both of them to win their Australian Open semifinals. Anyway, Michaela from Adelaide in Australia, we are global, asks, how's Cooch doing? He's practicing. He practiced with the team on Monday. So we're not that far. I don't think Carolina's going to practice tomorrow, so they're not going to have another practice. But my understanding is that they expect Kochetkov back after the All-Star break. And then they'll get him in some games, and they'll see what he is again. My only trepidation with Kochetkov is that if you remember last year when he missed some time, right, especially it was actually he got injured in a game against the Devils. And he missed, the last few games before the holiday, and then it took him a while to get back. And when he came back, he wasn't the same goalie. So I'll be curious to see how he plays when he returns, because the 12 or so games prior to the injury, man, he was really good, except for one, except for the home game here against the Islanders where he was no good. So what Carolina seeks out in the goalie market to me, is determined by how Kochetkov plays when he does come back. I thought the third defensive pair struggled tonight. I thought Dmitry Orlov labored. I didn't think it was a great game for Jalen Chatfield. He did take a big hit in the, I think it was it third period, second? I don't remember which period it was. He took a big hit, but third period. But he came back and played. So he's obviously fine. I mean, you never know. I mean, these things can be delayed anyway. But right after that, Carolina went on the power play and then took a penalty. And so because it wasn't a long penalty to kill off, he never came on the ice. So he was off the ice for about 4 minutes. But I didn't think that pair was very good tonight. I thought the third line had a couple of moments, but I thought the third line also struggled a little bit, and I think you're seeing that in ice time. Best line for my money was the Aho line tonight, but I thought Staal was excellent. Good for him to get a goal. It had been a while. Martinook's, well, it's not a streak anymore. He only had a 1-game goal-scoring streak, but he had 5 in a 6-game span. But he was very good. That line is excellent. Seth Jarvis fits so well there. They create opportunities, and Seth is part of that. I also think that he plays that way. The way Staal and Martinook play is the way Jarvis wants to play, except he also does it with a little offensive flair, as does Martinook, of course, in the 2024 portion of the schedule. So getting back to my original point, because Raanta's might have tweaked a knee or something. To me, this is an easy call. Unless Raanta is absolutely 100%, let Spencer Martin have the game on Saturday. And then after the All-Star break, you get Kochetkov back, and you make all your decisions based on that. Let's see if we get a couple of other questions here. How about Sean Monahan for draft picks? How about no? I'll be surprised if Carolina brings in a center that is not right-handed. I'm almost positive Monahan is a lefty. I'm not even sure he's that good a center. No, the Hurricanes don't need that. In fact, Carolina doesn't need a lot beyond depth. I think among the forward group, The only caveat to that is if you can legit upgrade the number 2 center spot. And obviously I keep harping on it. I keep wishing it into existence, Elias Lindholm, because to me, that's the addition that changes the calculus for the Hurricanes. It gives them an elite right-handed faceoff guy, a two-way center who can play in every situation. Think about this, because I saw this the other day on Twitter. We should have signed Vincent Trocheck. I'm not even going to argue. I think Trocheck is in between a 2 and a 3 center. I know he's playing well for the Rangers, but I don't know. I've seen them. I think he's had moments, and I think he's a good player. I don't think he's a great player. He's playing with elite players up there, by the way, because the Rangers have some elite talent. But Lindholm is, I don't know, anywhere from 30 to 40% better, I think, than Trocheck. That's the guy that changes the calculus. If you can get him. If you don't mind what you have to part with to get him. I don't know what that is. I'm not even going to speculate. But there's going to be some pain involved. And then you have to decide, all right, if we make this move, are we also going to try and sign him? And that signing might be a little steep. But if I were Carolina, it wouldn't be too steep. I also don't think it would be nearly as expensive as they do. I think it would be probably right around and maybe even a shade below what Svechnikov gets. But I think you can do a 5 to 6 year deal for Lindholm and be very, very happy. Keeps himself in great shape, wants to play for this coach. Am I selling everybody on this? Because to me, that would be the best possible move they can make. And then you also, when the All-Star break is over, we can go about the business figuring out what type of goaltender Carolina needs. And don't make crazy suggestions. We're going to give you 2 bad players for a great player. We can't do that. The other team watches film too. They scout as well. Kotkaniemi has struggled for a while. Forget about the goals that he's not scoring. He struggled. There were moments tonight where I thought he was really kind of turning a corner, but I also thought his puck management late was not awesome. And that line did not play a ton. Jack Drury has absolutely become, we'll just call it the team's third center. Absolutely has become that. And that line has been very good. I thought Nate just gave the puck away on the last goal with 2-point-something seconds left. But he was trying to make a play. He was trying to get it out of the zone. I don't know if you heard Shane Willis and Trip Tracy talking about it. He would have been just better served, skating the puck behind his own net. But whatever. No big deal. No harm. No foul. We're brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it's for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. No place like it. Sammy Hender's crew do a great job. I appreciate all of you for tuning in. We do this after every Hurricanes game right here on the Canes Corner podcast page on YouTube. Subscribe to it. Caress the like button. Do what you have to do. Get the word out. It's cool to see how many of you give a rat's about this. And of course, it's also available wherever you get your podcast. We call it the Morning After podcast, even though it's all the Canes Corner podcast. So until after Saturday's game against the Arizona Coyotes, do I have anything else that must be discussed? Not really. Have a wonderful night. Canes win it again, 3-2. Should we predict a 3-2 win over Arizona? Take any win. I'll take 1-0. I'll take 4-3. I don't care. Let's just get 2 points. Until, we'll see you.